In the many years that I've worked as a consulting forester, I've often found that what motivates landowners is their interest in wildlife.
When we start thinking about wildlife and wildlife habitat and managing conditions over time, we have to remember that wildlife systems like forest systems are extraordinarily dynamic. So many things influence what's on the ground today. What we decide because we like something or we don't like something, or we want to do something or we don't want to do something, sets the sideboards for what can be there. We look at birds oftentimes to get a sense of how are we doing from a habitat perspective in terms of what's out across the landscape. Things that we talk about as being birds of young forests or early successional forests, like prairie warblers or common yellowthroats or chestnut-sided warblers or eastern towhees. Those are birds that are very, very comfortable in very, very young, dense, regenerating patches. There's a big band of middle-aged forests in each of the states. When we talk about middle-aged forests, we're looking at forests that may not have as much breadth of different kinds of species that could be there because light-loving tree species have grown up and died. So we have things like thrushes. You could expect to see scarlet tanagers, beautiful red and black birds nesting up high. From a game standpoint, deer will be certainly moving through that. Turkeys scratching for things. Some of the amphibians that you'd expect to see, things like redback salamanders on the ground surface and subsurface, things that are more later successional or older. The trees get bigger, the cavities get larger, barred owls and things like that can get into them. If you have a 30-acre woodlot, in context with the surrounding area, maybe there's something special on it that nobody else has. That's something important to pay attention to. If you're interested in ruffed grouse and woodcock and snowshoe hare, the age of your forest is probably going to be a little younger because you're going to be cutting a little bit more frequently to produce those kinds of habitats. If you're looking at turkey management and things like that, they're probably going to be a little older. There's absolutely no way you can do everything for everything on the same acre. It doesn't work like that. But what does work that's very interesting is that if you can think about putting pieces together over time, then you have the opportunity of providing a far greater amount of really interesting habitat across a landscape. That's the beauty of private ownership. Different people have different options across a landscape. You have to think about what is it that you'd like to see.